How are you, Mayor?
I'm doing fine, Joe. How about you?
Doing well, given
Good.
the weather.
Oh, we need it badly. We can't complain.
Well, this will help the tree situation in the city, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no question. It won't help turnout for primary day, unfortunately.
No, but I do know that according to the city clerk, Nikki did say they had a decent amount of early voting, mail-in voting, so people have had options.
Yes, almost.
And by the way, you won't melt if you go out today.
Have you been to the polls yet?
I have not yet.
Okay.
I will be.
You're still at the Knights of Columbus?
I am. My entire life I've been in Ward 6, Precinct 2.
Wow. I know there have been a few changes as a result of the 2020 census, so folks should just double check where they vote to make sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
But Nikki's predicting about a 25% turnout, and actually, as of last Friday, almost 8,000 mail-in ballots had been returned.
Yep. But I don't know that is people that would normally go out and just did it to get it out of the way. You know what I mean? I don't know that helps the number at all.
True. Yeah, we'll have to see, of course.
Right.
This evening, what happens when the polls close at 8 p.m.? Any predictions, Mayor?
I think Mara Haley.
Boy, you are such a prognosticator. You.
I think that the one to really watch is the AG's race.
Yeah.
I think that's as tight as it can be. I do think that Kim Driscoll will win the lieutenant governor nod. I do think that Galvin's going to win his race after a little bit of a primary issue, Democratic convention stuff. The whole issue of change. But he's done a remarkable job. I think as Secretary of State, so why change for the sake of change? And I think people will see that. And the auditor's race, I think, is going to be tight. Bisoglio and Dempsey. I don't see anybody running away with that one either. So it'll be an interesting night. I don't know if a day like this hurts Doughty on the Republican side. It helps deals in known quantities. So not sure how that'll play out, but I don't think Doughty's picked up enough to pull it off. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Of course, November 8th is the final election. I want to remind folks as well. That'll be here before you know it.
Indeed.
And next year, of course. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mayor.
That's the latest it can be.
That's right.
The first Tuesday after the first Monday.
Yep. And, of course, next year there'll be a municipal election here in Quincy.
Imagine that.
And is it too soon to ask you if you've decided if you're running again?
It is too soon. You can ask me, but it's too soon to answer
it. Okay. Fair enough. Let's talk about going back to school tomorrow here in Quincy.
You remember that as a kid, Joe?
I do, yeah. When you were really little in grade school, you looked forward to it, and then after that you didn't.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. I do congratulate and thank Superintendent Mulvey and Assistant Superintendent Perkins, and the last few years has just been an incredible stress and pressure on the school system to continue to deliver for our kids and families during some crazy times. So we're all hoping for some normalcy this year. They spent a lot of time this summer filling a lot of open positions, retirees and so forth, whether they're teachers or nurses or still looking for bus drivers if there's anybody out there interested.
Yep.
They worked very hard. And, of course, the public building side spent a lot of time, as does the custodial staff, getting the buildings physically ready for the new year. And I think we're in good shape. There's always room to do additional things, but I think we're in real good shape for opening this week. And certainly welcome all the kids back. Remind the drivers out there, kids are out and about going to school, so please be careful. School buses will be stopping. You can't go around them
right
when the lights are flashing. Just a reminder to be a little careful with the kids walking back to school.
Absolutely, yeah. And no real pandemic restrictions anymore, right?
None that I'm aware of, Joe, but you never know.
Well, knock on wood, yeah.
I think it's now what's become of the flu, and we're going to deal with it every year. I don't think it goes away, but people aren't dying like they used to, and quite frankly, the kids weren't anyway. So I don't see any restrictions this year. We may get an uptick but you get flu season too, so
Right.
we have to deal with that anyway. So we got to get back to really the kids get shortchanged the last couple of years. To nobody's fault. I mean, it was what it was, is what it is. And I just hope we can get back to some of the basics and kind of ignore some of the distractions that we've had. We got to prepare these young people for the world today. And so, the maths and sciences are very important.
A lot of changes in the staffing. I know 80 new teachers, I think, coming on board. New principals at the high schools. So lots of changes.
Yeah, and that's why it's funny because you think, and generally speaking, that in the summertime you get a break, take some time off, etc. But that's not very true for superintendent and the leadership team because they've got to prepare for September. Just what you described, there are a lot of openings they had to deal with. The shifts in demographics, the shifts in need here, different subject matter. So it's like putting a puzzle together every September. You're not starting from scratch, but you have to move the pieces around to meet the demand and to meet the requirements, and make sure that class size stays healthy, the ratio student to teacher ratio, etc. So that's why I mentioned my gratitude for that team, superintendent's team, because they get a lot to do in the summertime, and looks like we're well prepared for the school year.
Is there a new principal at North yet?
Oh yes,
There is.
Dan Gilbert, who was the former principal of Broad Meadows.
Oh, very good. Okay, so all positions are in place and ready to go.
That's correct. Yep.
Very good. Beautiful concert on the Hancock Adams Common this past Saturday with the Quincy Symphony and the Quincy Choral Society, Mayor.
They're a great take.
Yeah.
In of themselves, them mind together.
Right.
I've always enjoyed the various concerts with both of them individually as well as together over the years. We have some incredible talent locally, and it was a great opportunity, and the weather was beautiful, and we had good crowds. Yuichi and his group, really fascinating. They sound so good. I guess I'm not necessarily have a good eye or ear for music, but to my ear, they sound incredible. It's just as good as the pops. So what a treat to have them locally.
They're in their 69th concert season this year, and it's
Wow.
and it's important to remind folks it's a community orchestra. They're volunteering their time to they just love the music.
Yeah, they work full-time jobs and
Right.
do this as a love on the side. Absolutely.
So, and the Choral Society is, I think, over 40 years old, and Sarah Labrie, their first female conductor ever. So,
Wow.
making
awesome.
great strides. Mayor, I know we didn't have time last time we chatted to talk about the President's Trail, but I wonder if you might give us a little information about what that is.
Yeah, sure. That was an idea that Kerry Byrne, Tim Cahill from the Chamber, had come to us a couple of years ago, suggested that maybe there's so much in Quincy for history, and you could go from, obviously the Adams National Historic Park to, the quarry industry to the iron furnace to Derby, Quincy. There's so many pieces there. I mean, many communities would love to have a piece of what we have historically, and so the thought was to put together a downtown tour, which is they call the President's Trail, because that's where the presidents would have walked, and a number of these locations they would have, been at, lived at, etc. So that was a good idea. So we, Jim Ed was the local architect who helped us physically design the signs. Ed Fitzgerald, the Historical Society, helped us with the language on the signs to make sure we got it right. It's a good team effort, and the city funded it. So people probably have seen those blue signs around. Perhaps they haven't got up close and looked at them, but from my vantage point, I see people taking pictures of them all the time. The ones in front of the First Parish Church, Church of the Presidents, as well as the one in front of Town Hall. So I do think it kind of pulls together the experience of the walking tour in and around the downtown. So, I thank everybody involved in it. It's a good project.
And this is no cost for this. You can just partake of this whenever you choose.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. The Welcome Center is open. Will be open for some time yet for visitors or even locals that perhaps haven't lived here a real long time and haven't ever done any of the sites. The Welcome Center gets you acclimated to what's going on in Quincy historically, and it has our own little walking tour, including the cemetery tour. So you can do either. You can get some information on the President's Trail, or you can do the other walking tour, or go across the street to the National Historic Park Service location, visitor center, and connect with them on the Peace Field or the birthplaces.
Yep.
So a lot of options for people.
A staycation right here in Quincy. There's plenty to
Exactly.
do, that's for sure. Yeah.
Maybe not today, but on a better day.
Exactly. Good to talk to you, Mayor. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Joe. Enjoy the day.
You too. Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch, our weekly City Hall update here on AM Quincy.